Welcome to episode 4 of Simon Says, a new podcast where you get to talk to or listen to real people with real lives, real problems, real business ideas that inspire who need help. Together, we can listen to these dreams and help them. I always thought when I was growing up that business was very complicated and somehow I wasn't meant to be a business person. I thought being a business person was only for the select few, the superheroes. But it turns out that anyone can start a business. All you need is the education and knowledge to do so. School, in my opinion, does not teach you what you need to know to live in the world where you own your time. They don't teach you the value of time, and they don't teach you how to buy time, not sell time. A lot of people out there may have a dream and they want to know how to make it happen. On this show, we're going to try and help them do that. There's a lot of people that also don't even know they have a dream. They don't know what their dream is. So we'll try to help them on this show find it and inspire people to dream and think big. I hope by listening to this show that you'll feel inspired to follow your dreams. And maybe by listening to people's questions and the problems that people have, you can also figure out not only the questions you should be asking yourself, because often you need to hear the questions someone else asks to understand the questions you should be asking, but maybe you can also help people. So if you want to help people, listen in. If you want to learn what you don't know, listen in. I am so proud to say this is our 4th episode. We already have an incredible sponsor that wants to support what we're doing. They're called HighLevel. And if you haven't heard of them before, they're a CRM system. There's a link in my bio if you want to give them a try for 30 days. And basically, they help you build funnels. They help you automate your marketing. And they help you understand how to manage your leads and get sales. Sales is something everyone can learn. One of my most popular videos on YouTube is teaching people how to sell. You can be an introvert or an extrovert. You can sell. You just need to know what tools to use to be able to do it, to understand how to call track or workflow automations and how they work. All of it is teachable. None of it was taught at school. And I know why. Because if you knew how to do it, you wouldn't have to get a job working for someone else. If you understand how important sales is generally to your life, you'll realize that if you don't learn to sell, you probably won't be able to get the right partner in life, because that's a sales process. Convincing someone to date you, convincing someone to stay with you. You need to learn sales to get a co-founder on board. You need to learn sales to get investors on board, to get clients to buy into your business. And all of it is teachable, all of it. So that's why I'm so happy to have a product like HighLevel as one of our first ever sponsors for this podcast show, because I know how much it can help you. And not only does this product sponsor the show so we can make this content for free to help you learn what you don't know and get the help you need by calling in, it also allows us with the sponsorship money to fund dreams, to help people not just learn what to do, but get the capital they need to go out there and take a chance and make it happen. So welcome to episode 4 of Simon Says. Now, we have 6 guests coming on, and we have a really interesting reaction clip to show you that I want to talk about. And I'm reading all your comments. So if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, or even suggestions for the people that call in, please drop them in the comments and we will read them out if we think that they're relevant. Don't forget, you can subscribe on Spotify and set a reminder so you never miss one of these live shows. And if you'd like to be on Simon Says, then please, there's a form somewhere in the link in the bio. Fill it out and you can be one of our guests coming on here, asking questions and getting exposure for your dream. So first up, our first caller of the day is Alan. Alan, trademark question for you now, episode 4. How much have you got in the bank so I know how to advise you accordingly? And what's your question?
So I have currently nothing in the bank. And my question is, where should I start with making this bike brand?
So what is the brand? So I didn't catch it.
So it's like a bike brand.
A bike brand?
Yes.
What is a bike brand? You mean a pedal bike? You mean a motorbike? What do you mean? Tell me more.
Like a pedal bike.
Okay, so you want to launch a new pedal bike?
Yes.
That's the idea? Okay, why does the world need a new pedal bike? Tell me what's unique about this.
It's unique because I want to make it road safe, where you can ride it wherever you want and make it really safe.
Okay, so bikes right now you think are not safe. Why? What's the difference in your bike to the ones that are on the road now?
Because my bike would contain, for example, if you're riding on the road, it would contain indicators instead of having to wave your arms, and it would contain a horn to notify anyone in front of you or behind you that you're slowing down or speeding up.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 13.
Wow. Okay. Your parents are with you now, helping you ring in today?
My parents are currently downstairs.
Okay, good. All right. So listen, I think this is great that you're thinking like this, by the way. I mean, I didn't launch my first business till I was 15. So the fact you're even thinking like this at 13, it's brilliant. Really, really great. I always say I wish the education system could get updated because I wanted to ask people what problem do you want to solve when you grow up, not what do you want to do. You are thinking about a problem that you want to solve. And then you've got the guts to come on this show. We've got thousands of people listening in right now. You've got the guts to come on the show and talk about it. Like I'm so impressed, Alan. Well done. Okay. Now, look, to make an idea like this happen, there are quite a few different ways to do it. I would say, the typical way that perhaps you see with Dragon's Den is you come up with a pitch, maybe a drawing of the bike or an illustration of what the bike's going to do. And then you go to investors and say, look, we need to make 1,000 prototypes or 100 prototypes. Would you be willing to invest in this and help make it happen? That's one way, right? There is another way, which is like you can say to the public, this is the bike I'm going to make, and crowdfund it. There's quite a lot of crowdfunding sites. So Indiegogo, for example, there's loads of platforms where you can show a product and then that you can say to people, would you buy it? And then people can say yes, and they can pre-buy it. And that allows you to see demand for your idea and then get money in advance to then go and use that money to go and make the product, right? So that's another way. And then a way that I would think about if I was your age is I would consider going to, say, a bike shop. Let's pick a big brand name like Halfords. We could even tag them in this if you like, and say to Halfords, look, here's a 13-year-old that wants to save lives. Here's a 13-year-old with a brilliant business idea. Why don't you have some fun, support this 13-year-old and make their bike and just back this crazy idea? And, I can just see a brand doing it. I can. I think, why not? And I think, and then the final thing I would say you could also do is if you think about all the products that are around bikes now that try to save lives, like helmets, vests, there's all sorts of companies selling quite expensive bike gear, gloves. I've got a really fancy bike and they sold me shoes with the bike. Go to the companies that make all the accessories for bikes and see if they have appetite to make a bike with you. Again, it won't hurt to ask them. The worst is they say no. And, you're 13, you've got time, your costs are low, you're living at home. Like, you can contact these people, you can show your idea. It doesn't matter. You've got really nothing to lose. You might as well try. And at least you learn to speak to these companies and you learn to speak to these investors. You learn to speak to these shops. And that's all good experience for you. If you've got the guts to come on this show and pitch like you just have there, I'm already in awe of you. And I think you'll do really well just going out there and pitching to the world. So go give it a go, Alan. I see it. And you can use products like HighLevel, by the way, to start tracking all the people you're going to call and who you're going to connect with, who's our sponsor. The link's down below. Go try it out. But Alan, well done. Really, really proud of you. Your parents should be very proud of you. It's great that you're thinking about what problem you can solve in the world. Nice work.
Thank you.
Next up, our second caller of today's show is Jack Evans. Are you there, Jack?
I'm in, mate.
Your bank, and what's your question?
I've probably got maybe 300 quid. So my question is
300 quid.
How can I secure funding? So basically, I work in the construction industry at the minute. I test construction materials. So I'm looking at setting up on my own to do it myself. I've got a business plan ready. I've registered the company on Companies House as well. To start it. But the biggest cost I've got is a vehicle. So basically it's just trying to look at different funding options. I've approached family and friends. I did go through the startup loans through the business bank. but like due to family commitments, it's just something that I couldn't take at that time. So I'm just looking at different avenues to go down to secure funding. I've looked at my local council as well for grants. There's nothing locally that I can, go for at the minute. So I'm just wondering if you've got any advice.
Okay.
On,
So, Jack, why have you only got £300 in the bank? You've got a job right now, right?
Yeah. I've worked in the industry for like 5 years. I own my own house as well. I've got kids. You know, so a lot
The
of it.
reason I say is like £300 is that scares me. That number, like why you got such a low bank balance?
Well, that's like my personal balance. That's not like for the bills and everything like that. I have a separate account, that goes, for the bills and everything like that. But obviously,
okay,
that's like my,
is this your
to play
available
with.
cash? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's my available cash.
All right. How much is it? So your big cost is basically getting a van, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the cash flow model on a business like this? So for example, if you get a client, can you pay you in advance? Can you get them to pay you in advance? How does it work?
So what I could do is have like a down payment first before the service is obviously taking place. Which that I kind of got that advice from reading your book as well. Because obviously, like with invoices as well, they take a month, to come in as well. So
this is what I'm getting to. Like, I mean, again, taking your bank balance scares me because if you've got £300 spare, that's a bit better. But I'm like, I mean, how much is it to lease the van? If I lease the van, how much is it per week?
A week. You're talking for a month, because they normally go on like per month basis. It's normally like maybe like 350.
So you got some spare cash to do lease for a month for a van. So
yeah, but then it's also it's the insurances as well. Like liability insurance. I'd have to.
Yeah. Okay. But again, like I don't think you can do monthly payments on those things. These are all monthly costs. So, and I reckon you can squeeze another £50-100. I mean, again, insurance, I've got 2 cars and, there is insurance is 28 quid a month, like everything's a monthly payment now anyway. And so, you've got a mortgage, so you've got a good credit rating.
Yeah.
I feel like this isn't really about like money. This is about you taking the leap. This is about you kind of believing and going for it, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Like there's, I've got clients ready to go.
Yeah. This is about you've got a little. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yeah, you're in this middle class trap structure. Okay, so you've got responsibilities which are very important. You got responsible for your family, but you kind of have this idea. You're trapped by your own subconscious at this point. I'm going to be blunt with you, Jack. Right, you got to take a chance. Okay, you got to take a little bit of a risk, and part of that is build up your savings a bit more. So cut down on all costs. Just everything you can, get it to as little as you can. Have you got any equity in your house?
A little bit. We've not owned it for that long, so there's not.
Yeah. And how much did you put deposit down on the house to buy the house? How much cash did you put in to buy that house?
I think it was about the 15 mark.
Yeah. You see, that 15 was the money you needed to start your own business.
Yeah.
This happens to everybody in Britain. We get obsessed with buying a house and we take the money that should be used to make money and we put it into something that maybe 30 years from now is an asset. Right now it's a liability, right? It's a cost for you every month. Now, I don't want to dwell on the past. You've done it now. But I think to myself, okay, you have to take a chance. Now, one way to reduce your risk, like you say, get one client, get them to pay you a 50% deposit. It's not unreasonable, right? And then use that deposit to add to your £300 in the bank so you can pay for the insurance. I'm guessing, my guess all in, a car, insurance, I don't know your industry exactly, but I reckon it can't be more than £500, all of that for 1 month. I'll be shocked if it's more than £500. So £500 for 1 month risk. And now maybe you have to take some holiday off your job to see if 1 month on this will make it work. But you need to take a leap. You're so close. If you don't, you're going to get more and more trapped. It's going to get harder and harder.
Yeah.
You should have done this 5 years ago. You've already been putting this off for a long time, right? Still there?
Yeah. Still, yeah.
I thought you'd gone to do it. I thought you were off to get the van. But you've been putting this off. Honestly, I can tell, Jack. You've been putting this off for a long time, mate. And
yes, because I want to get obviously like more experience in the industry first.
There's always that. I need more money. I need more experience. I need it to be sunny every single day in England before I do it. Right?
Oh no! Don't worry about that.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
Like, yeah. I know.
The excuse monkey lives with you, right? You got an excuse monkey living with you, and there's always a good excuse, especially when you've got family and responsibility. Those excuses are legitimate, and they will stop you. And they're legitimate excuses, but money is no excuse. You can do it. You just need to work the numbers a bit, make some sacrifices, maybe get rid of the Netflix subscription, put your mortgage on interest only, figure out ways to get your costs down, and then you need to go for it, because I can tell you've got a business here waiting to go, and you need to go and try and do it. Take a month's holiday, get that lease for a month, get the insurance for a month, invest 500 quid in yourself. You'll put 15 grand into a house and then spend lots of money making it nice, but you won't invest any money in you.
Yeah.
So come on, change it, and change it now, because I don't know how old's your kid.
I've got a 4 and a 5-year-old.
4 and a 5. I've got a 7-year-old. So kids don't do what you say; they do what you do. Yeah. So kids need to see you living your dreams, so they live their dream. If they see you making sacrifices and not following on your dream, they won't follow their dreams. They'll copy you. Right. The best thing you can do for your kids is inspire them, and take a risk. Now, I'm always careful with this. I say it in my book. You do want to have, like, ideally 6 months worth of savings at least, or runway. But sounds like to me, how to get revenue quite quick.
Yeah.
You've got clients potentially. So you reduce that risk quite a lot. So now you're just talking about like tying in the belt a bit so you can get that 500 quid, and then collecting the money early from the client, and then doing a really good job as quickly as you can, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then you're free. You have your own business.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What's the name of the business? What's the name of the business, Jack? Let's give it a name.
It's going to be, it's registered as Red Rose Testing.
Red Rose Testing, yeah. A baby is born. Your new child is now a day old, and go give it life. All right. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for calling in. Okay, our third caller today on Simon Says. Just before he comes on, I want to say thank you so much to HighLevel, our sponsor for this podcast. They literally came on as soon as we told them we're doing this podcast, and they came on because we share values. They want to help people with their sales. They're a CRM system, an all-in-one platform that helps you build funnels, that helps you get your automated marketing sorted, helps you figure out how to make your leads well managed. Sales is the answer to your success in your business. The best thing I can ever give you as advice is learn sales, and it's all teachable. They don't teach it at school for a reason, because no one would get a job once they understood how sales works. And you could be an introvert and you can sell. You could be an extrovert and you can sell. There's different types of sales, but all of them need a tool like HighLevel. And so I'm so happy that they sponsor us, because not only is it a tool I know you can use, you get a 30-day free trial. The link's down below. They're also, with their sponsorship, enabling us to not only make content like this for free to help you with your dream, but allowing us to fund people's dreams. So if you want help with your business, don't forget, you can go on helpbank.com and get help. Make sure you register on that platform, and you can also go on that platform and give help. You can be a part of the solution to the problems people have. And that's why we put this show together, so you can listen to the problems people have and maybe get involved, maybe help in any way you can. Give 5 minutes to help. But anyway, thank you to our sponsors, HighLevel. Let me take our next caller. David Allen, welcome to the show. And how can we help you today?
Hi, Simon. Okay, so yeah, I'm Dave. I've suffered with psoriasis since childhood. I faced like physical pain, bullying, isolation, social anxiety, depression, everything like that. Nothing ever worked for my skin, and I decided I wanted to find something that did. So after loads of research, etc., I sourced a sample of a formulation with a cosmetics company, tested it on myself and others with similar skin conditions. The results were positive, and I've been in contact with them, and they want to formulate the moisturizer for me, and I want to be able to launch it under my own skincare brand, which I bought the domain name Sootho, which I would name it. But essentially, I'm in need of support to try and gather £5,000 to purchase my first 1,000 units of the product, which will include all the branding, the packaging, printing, etc. I've tried every avenue with funding without success, due to my credit rating, things like that. And I'm just looking for help to make my dream come alive in the hope of healing and helping others like myself that have been through this situation with their skin.
Well, David, first of all, what an incredible story, and turning your pain into purpose. I'm in awe, like I think when you have what you're describing and then you go out there and you find the solution to your pain, it's just inspiring. So first of all, well done. Okay, please take a moment just to I think people listening should also just appreciate someone that's gone and done that, because I know myself, when I've had medical issues here and there, you can sometimes fall into self-pity, and you just think, well, that's it, I've got this problem and I can't do anything about it. You went out there and did something about it. You came up with something that tries to solve the problem you felt. So respect to you. Now I think when you mentioned you covered off all the investment angles, I always think that there's so many different ways to fund something like this. What would I do if I was you? There's a lot of people that probably suffer in the same way that you do, and you have. And I would go to them. You must be in Facebook groups and chat groups where people have had these problems. You know where all these people are, and I would say, do you want to crowdfund it? I would say to those people, do you want to put £100 in or £50 in and fund this idea coming to the world, and let those people that have felt that problem help you also promote this product? So if you crowdfund it, and £5,000 is very achievable through crowdfunding, in my opinion, then you can go and then make them all partners, and they can then all go promote it because they've all felt the problem that your product solves. That's one way to go. I mean, I think this problem matters more than making money, in my opinion. So the other way is to go to the pharmaceutical companies, and I'm not a fan of most of them, but there must be some ethical companies out there already that make products that are ethical, and say to them, look, could we partner on this? And so you might not make billions from it, but I don't think that's your aim anyway. You just want a product to be out there in the market that helps the problem that you had and resolves the pain that you had. I would consider talking to those companies and just seeing if they can partner up with you to bring it to market, because they know how to do it all. Because I don't think £5,000 is actually going to get the product to market. You need a lot of marketing support. You need a lot of communication stuff. It'll be a lot more than that in the long run. I mean, certainly as a first step, £5,000 sounds like it's possible. But I think in the long run, you're probably going to need a partner on this. And, your own admission, you're not an expert in this space. I would consider going to get a partner. But David, I just want to say again, such admiration for you turning your pain into purpose. I tell people every single day, that's how you fix the world, by taking your pain and making it positive, using it for good in the world. So thank you, David, for calling in. So nice to hear from you, and I wish you luck. Right, next up, we have a clip reaction I want to show you. Every single week, I'm going to pick a clip that's resonated with me, and I'm going to share what that clip means. Lots of ideas sound silly in the beginning, right? We all think, sometimes people pitch ideas like that's a joke. So watch this clip.
Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there, the latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I mean? It's just...
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
It's not a huge difference.
What is the difference?
But you can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right.
Too.
Oh, I see. So it's stored in one of your memory deals,
Exactly.
and then you can come
That's
back
the
a
RAM
year
thing
later.
you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Do tape recorders ring a bell?
We have to remember that anything new is always going to be criticized. I'm trying to build a new type of education system. People are laughing at me all day. I'm saying, look, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, that's where the new school is. That's where people are learning. We might not like it. We might think, no, kids should not be learning on TikTok. We might think, no, but it's happening. And when I tell people we're bringing education to where people are, as opposed to expecting them to come to us, I get laughed at. People are like, no, you're never going to fix the education system, Simon. It is the way it is. And that's, don't be stupid. And I want you to remember this, that any idea, it can be crazy idea, whatever crazy idea you've got, there will always be people that don't understand it or love it, or even worse, I've seen people dish it because they're scared it will mean that they're more successful than them. So, remember, at first they will always laugh at you and they will always judge you. And then eventually people will get what you're doing and that will change. That's happened for me, by the way. Slowly, people have understood. I've been doing this 5 years now, helping someone every single day for 5 years. Slowly, people are starting to see what I'm doing. And a lot of the people that used to hate me have slowly come to not hate me as much. And so I think that's just part of the process. And I just wanted to remind you dreamers out there to dream big, think crazy, come up with madness ideas, and, let them laugh. And so there was a young man who came to me yesterday and told me his idea when I was getting a coffee in a coffee shop. And I thought his idea was really good. And I gave him some pointers how he should do it. And he said, you know what, Simon, the big problem is I'm scared my friends will laugh at me and take the piss out of me, is how he put it. And I was like, they will. And then one day, 3 years from now, when you're doing what you love every day and they're doing a job they hate, they'll come to you and ask for advice, because that's how it goes. And so, let them laugh, because it's the most important thing is that you follow your heart, you follow your dreams. And, if people are going to laugh at you, great. Making people laugh is a cool thing, man. If I wasn't doing this, if I wasn't trying to fix the education system, I think I'd try and be a comedian. I think making people laugh is the best. So go ahead, let them laugh, but go for your dreams, because you don't want them to have the last laugh. You don't want to get to 90 and have regrets. That's the worst thing. Right, next up is caller number 4 for today's show, Irene. Irene, are you there? How much have you got in the bank, Irene, so my advice can relate to your financial situation? And what's your question?
I have got 74 pence and £1 million mindset.
Oh, nice. 74p. Okay, wow. Okay, so tell us, what's the question?
So my question is, do you have any advice for my first pop-up event? So I've got a pop-up event at a children's play centre where I will be selling a firefighter book, which I'm selling to profit to fund the main book of my first collection, which will be Through Bear's Eyes. So I'm just curious as to if you had any advice, considering it's not my final product, it's what's going to get me to my final product.
Okay, so the pop-up itself, will you have natural traffic coming to it? How's it going to work?
So it's just down the road from me, and they host children's sessions every 90 minutes. They have about 30 slots available. So 30 different families, tons of children, and it changes every hour and a half. And I've been given the position to do that throughout the whole of the 6-week holidays once the books arrive.
Got it. It feels like you've got the marketing for this first one kind of there. It's a plug and play, isn't it? There's already an audience and you just turn up. So I actually think that's pretty clever. You don't need to do any marketing for it. That's my quick instinct. Yeah. I mean, I always want to give you more. What else do you need? Because that feels like you kind of got that bit sorted.
I've pitched in Birmingham, and I have mentioned that although funding isn't the answer to every scenario, I'm trying to profit to raise £5,000 so that I can pay for the next 3 books. So I've currently got one in production, and the reason I've been able to get the illustrator to do so many pages so far is through the profit of the firefighter book at the moment. So I am trying. I have been trying to do it in lots of different ways already, but that is the end goal. And I'm just wondering if you think that I'm heading the right way with that.
I think so, Irene. I know you're a member of my community on Discord and on our chat groups, right?
Yep.
So I know you're doing something that's also very important. You're building community support for your dream, because again, no one can do it on their own. And I know, well, the community online now telling me as well that they love you. You know,
Yes,
you're a kind person trying to do something important in the world. And so I think that community build is something you're doing. Like, I want to give people advice, but when I listen to you, I feel like you're doing it step by step. Maybe just be a little bit more confident about you're doing it and do it a little bit more. But I think you're doing it. You're part of our community. I see you actively also helping other people whenever you can. And so you've got a lot of people that want to help you. I think just make sure you keep asking for help and keep pushing, keep fighting. I think you're doing that. I see it online, by the way. I know you're fighting and pushing, but your mission's important. I think you're going to get there. I would argue you don't need to buy all 3 books in advance. You know, like, you can do it all step by step, and, you know, don't rush it. You don't need to rush it. And I have a feeling you're going to be fine. I do think don't put too much pressure on yourself a little bit. I mean, have you got a job? How are you funding your life at the moment?
Yes, so I've come off mat leave early in May. I was supposed to be coming off it in September. So I've started work earlier on from the mat leave finish, and I work at a local nursery at the moment.
Right.
We're a term time only nursery, so I'm currently off for the next 5 weeks. So it gives me loads of chance to actually focus on the business as a whole.
Got it. Yeah. Again, nurseries are probably good organizations to work with as well, right? So you have a bit of a network there you could probably tap into.
Yeah, definitely. Can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
I just wondered if in the future there might be room for collaboration, in the sense of, if I was able to get help through the community or yourself, if we could take a percentage of my sales to help fund people's dreams. So we're working together. And I know it's not something you'll be able to say on the spot. I just wanted to say it's just been on my mind.
Irene, that's really sweet of you to say that. And I really appreciate the sentiment. I think you talk to the community about that. The community right now on the help bank side, that they're doing all sorts of things that don't involve me. I do have limited time, so I don't want to promise you something. Like, I'm really pushing at the moment to drive lots of revenue into the business so we can fund people's dreams. But I'm having to focus on things that are really scalable. That doesn't mean to say that, you know, it's a no, but I don't want to let you down, okay? Because I know I have hardly any time with my family right now and stuff. I need to make sure I don't promise anything. But, you know, look, you've got the ear of the community. You've worked hard. You're doing something important. So I'm pretty sure that's going to play out anyway. And you do what you think's right with your profit when the time comes. And so I think what you're doing is important. I don't want you to have to even commit your profit just yet either. Let's get you profit and work with the community to do that. But keep pushing, Irene. Don't wait for any one person, including me. You're not waiting. You're fighting. I know it. I see it. And keep going, because it's important what you're doing. And I think the passion you have is really, really relatable. But thanks for coming and asking a question today. And thanks so much for being part of our community. You're a superstar.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. I'll see you soon, Irene. Okay, guys. Yeah. So some of the people calling in are part of my community at helpbank.com. If you want to help people, you can go there, press of a button, you can help people. Helping people is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. It fills my bucket, making time to help people in any way I can. I know if you're listening to this right now, you probably have the same mindset. So go check out helpbank.com and help people. Equally, helpbank.com is a safe place to go and ask for help. You've got to be able to feel comfortable saying, hey, I need a little bit of help, because no one can make it on their own. So go check out helpbank.com and feel free to ask for help. Okay, next up, our next caller is Noah Chant. Are you there, Noah? Can you tell us what's in your bank and how we can help you today?
Hiya, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to say already, just from your YouTube videos, you've already had a massive impact on my life. At 18, I joined the police in England, done it for 4 years and left because it just wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. I left earlier on this year and I've just been trying to find work, doing something I enjoy, and thought, why not better off to start my business? Watching your YouTube videos really motivated me to work in something I like doing, which is football. I've started my own football coaching business.
Nice.
Football coaching, I've literally got my first session this Friday. So the job I'm in at the minute, I leave. The job I'm in at the minute, I leave on Thursday, and then my first session's Friday.
Wow.
I'm specialising in like young children, doing one-to-ones and small group sessions with local kids in my area.
I love it.
First 4 sessions I've said are completely free of charge because I want to build my community in my area, maybe stand out to people that aren't already, you know, sending their children's football coaches, and yeah, really gain that community. So yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say, no, I wanted to give a shout out for if people want to follow you and what you're doing. How can they do that? I think it's awesome.
It's Risen Football, so RIZN Football, and that's on Instagram, TikTok.
Okay, awesome, mate. Absolutely awesome. And what can I do to help you? Do you have any question right now? If you've watched all my YouTube videos, you might not have any questions. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the job I'm in at the minute gives me so much time to sit in my car driving around, and I genuinely listen to your YouTube videos because I always feel like I get told the people you're around are sort of the person that reflects like my personality. So I feel like if I've got you sitting next to me in the car on YouTube, I'm gonna develop your skills and your traits to become as successful as you. My main question was just to really, how do I gain attention and customers through my local sort of social media networks, like local Facebook groups, rather on a larger scale. Obviously, I want to target my local area. I want to make sure I stand out while I start off.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for keep saying that to me. Actually, I can't tell you how much that means to me to hear that you're leveraging the content. And a lot of people do need a mentor and help. They don't realize they can just play it and sit in the car with them as if I'm there. And you've got all the knowledge right there, you know, at your fingertips. You don't need to have me turn up and sit next to you. It's there. And you're leveraging it, which is I'm so happy to hear that, Noah. I think as far as like local marketing is concerned, I always think about things on a kind of community basis. So, you know, let's start media first. There's always a local newspaper or publication of some sort that covers local area topics that most people do actually read. So the area I live in, there is a magazine for the area. I do read it. I want to know what's happening in my community. So maybe, you know, send the people that write that an email saying you're launching this business and the coaching business. I think it's a great little thing. And they might come along and cover it and take some photos and share it in the local media, right? And it's free. Apparently, I muted my mic somehow. Sorry.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur radio host right here. I muted my own mic. I don't know how I did it. Anyway, I don't know where you look. No, you haven't. I'm here. But I just want to break down quickly the different things that you can do on a local level. So the PR, right? That's one thing. Yeah. Then I always think it's a lot more effective than people realize. If you go into supermarkets like Tesco's and Sainsbury's and Waitrose, they have little billboards, and you can literally put what you do on those billboards. Now, I actually check those out because I'm always interested in what the local suppliers of this, that, and the other are, right? And again, it doesn't cost anything. Okay. And so, and then the final thing I think is like, you know, once you've got the first lesson out the way on Friday, which is really exciting, by the way, I would also then maybe ask the parents to promote you. You know, I always think that when I've been involved in things and I've got good service, if someone says, look, I'm starting out, I'm new, would you let people know? Like, I really connect to that, and the worst is I say no, I'm not going to promote you. No, like, okay, you tried, right?
Yeah,
I think, that local word of mouth is still powerful, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got a little WhatsApp sort of community with about 15 parents in my local area at the minute that are all interested. So hopefully once Friday's out the way and I've got some videos of it, they'll all come
Yeah.
sort of,
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
going to be
they'll show
fine,
more
mate.
interest over the summer holidays and stuff.
You're going to be fine. I mean, normally, I mean, because how old are the kids you're teaching?
So the youngest at the minute is about 6, and I've got up to about 13-year-olds. So a little range.
So some of my biggest videos, by the way, have been with 13-year-old entrepreneurs, like pitching their dreams. I think one of my biggest videos is with a 13-year-old pitching his dream. I love to see kids being inspired, right? You have to get parents' permission, so you have to be very careful with the kids' side of things. But I got the parents' permission for this 13-year-old who wanted to pitch his dream, and then I put the video up, and it did really well. And there might be something in it, because there's a couple of kids I'm helping at the moment that want to be pro footballers. And so I got their parents' permission to record their dream, and I put it up, and they've done really well. I mean, again, you might want to think about a social media content strategy a little bit around that. Like, what is young people's? I'm picking my message, which is what's your dream. Your message could be like, what's your goal, right?
Yeah, of course.
I might get that trademark now, but like, what you can think a little bit about how to get your social media stuff rocking a bit. And again, it could also be another way to go. It's just you sharing your journey. I mean, you quitting your job on Thursday. That's interesting content, like I quit. My last day is today. I'm putting this video up to say tomorrow is the start of my new life. I'm starting this new business. I'm scared. I'm excited. I'm worried about money. I'm also hopeful that it's going to work out. That's interesting content. If you could put yourself out there, and I'm sensing that you're the sort of person who's willing to push themselves a bit and be a little bit out of your comfort zone. But if you can, I reckon there's a whole series around what you're doing here. You've completely changed your life. You completely changed it. It's it's not easy. Again, once you've got a job that's safe, I say safe, like a regular paycheck, like a police person. Gosh, like it's hard to change. You start building up like mortgages and costs, and so easy to get stuck there.
Of course.
And I've got a mate who is 30 years in the police. When we were younger together, like working, he could have easily started his own business and stuff, but then he got a job at the police, and he basically they kept promising a pension. He kept staying because they kept promising him a pension. And he's still there.
It's the exact thing my mum and dad said when I said I wanted to do my own company, but I was determined to work in something I was interested in. And I went to Brazil at the end of last year and met a few people out there. And my aim after the first year of work is to collect sort of old football shirts that the kids may have that they don't use anymore, or parents may have, and then go out to Brazil in the favelas, because I know a couple people out there, as crazy as it sounds, and hand out some of the football shirts to them and do some free sort of football sessions to give back the support that I've had from people in my local area.
Great, I agree. And maybe have a little think about like get a football company to sponsor. Get some revenue from some of these big brands that without young players there is no Umbro, there is no Nike. Like they should be supporting you to help young players come through. So they should be paying you to use their footballs and all those sorts of things. Right? Have a little think about all the brands linked to football that could be sponsoring what you're doing. And I would try to get some sponsorship revenue. You got nothing to lose. The worst is they say no, but I'm pretty sure if you came to me and I was in charge of the football division at Umbro, I'd definitely give you footballs at least, but I'd probably sponsor a few activities as well. Anyway, just a thought.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time today. I've been waiting for a while to speak to you. So,
well, there we go. We connected. No, I'm gonna follow you after. I'm gonna follow you after this, mate. And
thank you so much.
I'm excited for you. The very worst is going to be an amazing experience. So just well done. Well done for taking a risk.
There'll be a video on there on Instagram for you Friday, I'm sure.
I'll look forward to it. I'll look out.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys, we have been technically proficient on this 4th episode of Simon Says. We've had no problems at all. Touch wood, don't want to cause a problem. But our next caller, apparently her mic's not working. So this is a problem with a live show. I keep telling you guys, I'm not gonna shut off the live and edit this out and make it all perfect. I want you guys to see I have built 19 companies. I've invested in 83 businesses. One of them is a unicorn called Lovable, you know, $1 billion company. And I still have problems when I start things that are new, right? Mistakes happen. So, okay, I believe she's got her mic working. Tasha, are you there? Mic working? And how much have you got in the bank so I can give you advice linked to your financial status? And what's your question?
Hi, Simon. My name is Tasha, and I've got about 5,000 New Zealand dollars in my bank, and I'm really currently using it to during my healing, really.
Okay. So what's your question today? How can I help you, Tasha?
Well, I actually wanted to talk about my dream that is a little bit more of an idea. So I would like you to please bear with me as I put this into words. And then I'll actually follow with my question just so you know I've ended my dream, talking about my dream.
Okay, I've only got a minute for the call, just to warn you, Tash, because I've got someone else waiting as well. So if you could make it easily understood, then go ahead.
Okay, great, thank you. So my dream is to really create an embodied space. It's part cafe, part community hub, where people can come exactly as they are, be nourished with food, art, and real connection, and leaving feeling more grounded in themselves. So throughout trauma, burnout, and deep somatic healing, I've rebuilt myself from the inside out. And along the way, I kept on asking what kind of space would I have needed when I was unraveling? And this really became the seed. So now I want to create that space. I actually want to call it the Workshop Cafe for a reason. So it's a place to rebuild, to reclaim, to reimagine, a space where healing and creativity can live side by side. So when you drink a coffee, sit with your emotions, you can also choose to join a breathwork lesson or learn woodworking or grow your own food. So I imagine bringing in doctors for community talks, mental health coaches to offer emotional literacy, artists and purpose-led practitioners to run workshops. So I'm not a therapist or a teacher, but I think I can hold this space. And I really do think that this type of space is quite needed in the world at the moment. So
I
I've walked
agree
through
with you.
fire.
I like the vision a lot. So what do you need to make this dream happen?
Well, first of all, I don't have any capital and I don't really have any roadmap or a blueprint from my dream. So yeah, what would you do if you were me? My soul basically says that this is my mission. My background was in science and technical leadership, and I did a complete 180 turn, and now I'm actually listening to my mission, which is this.
Okay, Tasha. So there's a few ways to make something like this happen. Okay. There's the traditional way, the kind of Shark Tank Dragon's Den way, right? Which is you have a pitch for your idea, you work out all the costs, you figure out the ins and outs of what it will take to make it real. And it's not that hard, you know, the rent and the fit out and, you know, what you'll need staff wise to, you know, fill the place with this energy you're talking about. So what's it going to cost, right? That you can do that. If I was doing it, it would take me about 2 weeks to figure all that out, right? And then part of it, of course, is like what does success look like? So you got to like frame up what would the business be if it's successful? What does success look like? Is it how much money it turns over? Is it how many people it helps? You know, all of those things. And then you can go pitch to investors. And there's a lot of people out there with money. Money is the most abundant thing. People don't realize it, but it's the most abundant thing. There's loads of people with money that don't know what to do with it. And they're looking for something like this, especially if they're not that healthy themselves. They might relate to the problem and burnout and so on. So that's one way. It's not my favorite way because I think you're kind of begging people to believe in your idea and finding them is not, they're there, but they're not always easily available.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
one way. The other way is, I don't think you're going to like this other way because it's going to be it's going to sound a little harder, but in the long run, it might be a lot easier. So there's a combination of like hustle, which I know is not a popular word, but you kind of go and, you know, you go find a location you like that's empty and you find out who the owner and the landlord is, and see if they'll back this idea and support you. You know, partner with them. Maybe see it as a, you know, landlord, not tenant. You know, maybe a lot of people now have empty spaces everywhere, right? They can't rent them out. They, you know, people. There's a lot of people who have money that have empty shops right now, and they're just sitting on these assets and they're not used. So that's another way to go, right? Look for a partner, not an investor, a partner, right, who owns these properties. The third way to go about this, and this one I think definitely you won't like. My guess is, I would go and work in a similar business somewhere. So first of all, if it doesn't exist, completely doesn't exist, then there's probably a problem, because when Google launched, there was 2,000 other search engines at the same time, right? So you kind of wonder, why doesn't it exist? Now, that doesn't mean to say it shouldn't exist, but I would be a bit worried if it doesn't exist at all. But I actually see this in like, I see this as almost like I see a spa. I've seen spas that have cafes, and they have a similar vibe. You know, they don't. There's a couple of spas I'm thinking of where you can actually go and sit in the cafe. There's one in Primrose Hill. I won't name them because they might tell me off. But there's a cafe in Primrose Hill where you can basically, it's a spa, but you can sit in the cafe, and it has all the spa and all the, you know, healthy drinks of a spa. You don't have to go into the spa to sit in the cafe spa. And you know, I think that there's you can go and learn from those businesses. Now you can just walk in, sit there and learn, or you can go and find out on Companies House who's behind it, and then you can interview them and say, how did they make it happen? You could ask them how they made it happen. Most of the time, these people will be happy to share, because they probably didn't build it just to make money. They build it to increase wellness. Most of the wellness businesses, you can argue, some are good and some are bad, but some of them have been built just because, like you, people want to build something that's going to help people. So go ask the people that have done it before. Go interview them. Go work there even. Get a part-time job and just see how they do it. And then once you've got all that kind of feeling experience, then yeah, you can probably open up one. We helped someone this week open up a cake business, and they did it all for £6,000. Decorated the shop, put down deposits, and got open for £6,000. And so, well, there's a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, my dream actually started off with just having a cafe and, you know, selling amazing coffee and amazing smiles. And that's really it. And it started from there, and it turned into a cafe that I would actually bring in local artists and have their furniture in the cafe. So in some ways, like, you can sit in the chair and actually also buy it.
Love it. Yep.
So that's how it really started. And I've done a little bit of workshops in my previous job, and I actually love educating people. So if I were to expand my dream cafe, it'll actually have these workshops as well, and bringing all these people that actually helped me through my life and spread this kind of awareness. So I think I like the two options that you've given me, the last two options, the more hustly options, because I do like to take that risk.
Good for you, Tasha. Good for you. I'm also opening up a coffee shop business, so I've been looking at it, and I agree. There's a real opportunity there, especially if you're thinking about community. So I'm opening up dream cafes as well. So I get it. And are you based in New Zealand?
I am in Auckland.
I will be in New Zealand in
yes,
end
I
of
know.
October. So I would love it if you are you in Auckland?
I am in Auckland.
Yeah, get it open for October and I can come by and say hello.
Okay, great. That sounds really good. I'll do that.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Tasha, and good luck.
Thanks so much, Simon.
Okay, guys. So what I really liked about Tasha there is, you see, I actually gave her the harder options at the end, the ones that take a little bit of time. Take off. Most people want to take off straight up. They want the money and they want to go. The best businesses take off slowly, just like an airplane runway, right? It takes time, and then take off. You don't have to take off from day one with all the money and all this perfect everything, right? Again, this is episode 4 of a new podcast. We're making mistakes every day. I'm not waiting for the perfect takeoff. We're just doing it, and it's working. Slowly it takes off, and then it's more sustainable takeoff too. You didn't burn all your fuel in the first takeoff, right? For those listening to this on Spotify, you're probably like, what's he talking about? I'm doing little hand signs right now that show going up quickly and then going along slowly along the ground and then going up. Just so you know, those guys listening on Spotify. Okay, so now we are on our last 2 callers, and I'll just want to do a quick shout out for our fantastic new sponsor. HighLevel have come on board to support what we're doing, and I'm so grateful. We told them what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people follow their dreams, try to answer people's questions for free, give people the knowledge they need, and people that listen in can learn from the people that are asking questions about what questions they should be asking to make their dream a reality. So HighLevel have come in and supporting us on this podcast, which means for me, it means with their support, we can fund more dreams. It means we can put this content out. But they're a great product as well. I only work with businesses that I believe in. And HighLevel, they offer a funnel building service. They offer an automated marketing system. They allow you to manage your leads. And I can't express this enough. Every business I have built that has been successful has been led by sales. And you could be an introvert or an extrovert. You can do sales. Sales is just a system. And they don't teach it in school, because if they did, you wouldn't have to work for someone. And so for me, like HighLevel coming on board and sponsoring this podcast is fate, because it's the number one thing I believe to be true. If you want to start a business, is learn sales. And then you need tools to help you implement. You need to do things like workflow automations, which are not hard if you've got a product like HighLevel. You can call track who you're calling. Remember to follow up with them. Make sure you learn to sell. And it's all a system. And the great thing is, I mean, I learned this at 15 years old when I knocked on the door, got my first gardening client. I just knocked on the door and said, I've got a gardening firm. Would you like me to do your garden? They said, yes. I learned, my God, now I've got money coming in. I don't have to work for someone else. All I had to do was knock on that door. But now you don't need to knock on the door. Thanks to email and on all the different tools, things like HighLevel can help you get the clients you need to have the life you want, right? So there's a link down below. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, there'll be a link down below. And you can click that link and get a 30-day free trial. So you can start getting sales before you've even launched your business. I got my first client before I even had any gardening equipment. Before I had a website, I didn't have a brochure. I didn't even have any staff to help me do the gardens. I got a client who paid me a 50% deposit, which allowed me to fund everything to start my dream. Getting a client first can be how your dream begins. And so, all right, next up, we have our next caller, who is, I'm just reading, Michael. Michael, are you there? Tell us your bank balance so we can so I can give you advice. Go ahead. Of course.
I have 148 euros.
148 euros?
Yeah, I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Wow. Okay, Michael, tell me what you need and I'll try to help you.
So I'm from Greece. Just to give you a backstory, I have a diploma in finance and banking. I moved to Slovakia. I'm 3 years in Slovakia right now. I'm working for a multinational company. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My pain is my mother. I want to get her financially free. That's my pain. That's the pain that I wake up every morning and is bothering me. And I opened a business in 2021, an e-commerce business. I was doing drop shipping, which failed completely. And I think because I had to do a lot of things at the same time, marketing, website, search the correct product. So it didn't go well. And now I'm thinking about opening a pancake business, and I will tell you why. I wake up in the morning and I have no problem to cook. I love it. Specifically pancakes, and I'm thinking that I will name it Sula Pancakes, and I'm thinking to write in the package a taste that touches your soul, because my girlfriend thought that my surname is pronounced Sola, right? So this is how my idea came to my mind, and I know how to do the marketing. I haven't started yet. I'm still in the process of thinking about it. So in the marketing, I'm thinking TikTok. I'm thinking about doing day 1 of running my own business, day 2 of running my own business. This is the type of marketing I'm thinking. I need to buy equipment, which I can afford if I do good savings. And now my problem is packaging supplier and how to get a deal with the logistics company to send my products all over Europe.
I love it. I sense that this is the right direction for you, and putting aside wanting to help your mother, which is admirable. I don't even talk to my mother, so anyone that's got a good relationship with their mum, I'm in admiration for. So it's beautiful that you want to do that. I think you want to see her son more and have you involved. Get her involved in the business. I mean, I think about my son. All I want to do is spend time with him. So maybe get her involved in your business will be even more important to her than and spend time with her than making her financially free. But I reckon this is going to work, and your surname matches. You know what I mean? Like pancakes with soul. I see it. I totally see it.
Okay.
And I think there's a real story. Even if the story is I'm making pancakes to make my mum financially free. I really get it. Flipping the script and going from paycheck to paycheck to like living your dream. I see it working. So what do you need from me? What can I do to help you today?
So I'm a little bit lost, to be honest. I will be completely honest with you. I'm pitching ideas to my surroundings, and this is an idea that I'm pitching. No one believes in it except my mom, right? And my problem is I really don't know how to get a deal with the packaging supplier because it's going to cost, and I don't know how to get the deal with the logistics to send the product across Europe. As I said, I'm located in Slovakia. I don't have a community here, so I'm depending on Greece mainly, and from the people that I'll get from TikTok, hopefully.
Okay. Maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself too quick. Take a step back for a minute. Maybe just going live on TikTok or on social media and making pancakes and getting, I mean, I don't know the brands as well now, but let's say Jif Lemon used to be a product that you put on pancakes, but there used to be a lot of different products. Get a partner to sponsor you. It doesn't have to be the perfect product that you're shipping from day one. It can simply be a little home kitchen where you make pancakes. And let's say, I'm just making this idea up. Let's say I'm live on TikTok now, right? On my TikTok, I've got just over 1,000 people. If I said to someone on here, I will make you a Mickey Mouse pancake with your name on it if you give me a universe, right? I forget how much a universe is now. I think it's a couple of £100, right? And then so someone does that, and then on the live, I can promote them to 1,000 people and make them this pancake. There's other ways basically now to make money that doesn't have to go straight into a massive production business. Okay, you can do that step by step, and money will solve all problems. The things you're describing are really a financial and effort issue. You will find someone that will make it. If you can pay someone, they'll definitely make it. So maybe just build it up more slowly. I think that's my theme for today. Think more HighLevel, which is my sponsor. So I'll throw their name in there. Think bigger. Like you don't have to always like do the perfect packaging and the perfect shipment from day one. Like just make pancakes for your mum. And then on lives, ask people, do you want me to make you a pancake? Like you just have fun and, build up a community and build up a little bit of revenue. As I say, if I've now got 1,200 people on TikTok, right? I know if I said to them, look, I'll make you a pancake. give me a universe, the gifts on TikTok. People will do it. Because people like to have fun, and money's only a tool to have fun with, really, and invest in helping people, in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't know if that resonates with you, but can you just be a bit more laid back about it and have a bit more fun with it and not rush straight into manufacturing? It will come if you've got the money, I think.
Yeah. I was thinking about making the pancakes and sending them to someone. I don't know how good the quality is going to be. So I was thinking I'll go more far now. I was thinking that I need to dehydrate everything.
Yeah, listen, I get it. This production side, you work on it, but I'm telling you, the modern way is you go into the street, you make a pancake, and you video you giving someone that pancake, and the video will make more money than you selling pancakes. Step one, use viral marketing to build up your brand. If you look at all the success stories now, they're people with social media following, right? I would go into the street and make pancakes, and I would film people's reaction to the different pancakes you make them. And then in the morning, people having a pancake, you know, and kind of just have fun with it and build up a following. I'm giving you just one idea. I'm not saying this is the only idea. I think you can figure out the manufacturing. It will just take time. And I'm not a man. I don't have access to people that make pancake packaging. So it's all on Alibaba and other platforms. It's all out there. It's not hard. You just need to buy minimum quantity orders. But if you have a social media following, you have sponsors, you have a bit of client base, fan base, it's going to be a lot easier to sell the pancakes later as well. And again, I don't think people are leveraging like the community side and the gift giving side on social media. People aren't doing it, and you should be. You just make pancakes every day, every morning, go live doing it, and make a video and post it up of you making pancakes and do different pancakes every day. Do that for 30 days and you'll see. I think you'll be shocked how much of a following you can build up, and it won't cost you anything.
All right.
Give it a go, all right? Stay in touch. I want to see how this plays out. And I want to try soulful pancakes.
Oh, of course.
Stay in touch.
Of course.
Thanks for ringing
Thanks,
in, Michael. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, one more call before I have a little closing thing to say. But one more call, and it's Josh Phillips. Josh, are you there? And how much is in your bank account so my advice can relate to your financial situation? And what's your question?
Yes, hi Simon. Yeah, I'm roughly about £11,000 in the bank.
Cool, good to hear.
Did you have a question about what my dream was?
What's your question? Yeah, how can I help you?
Yeah. So yeah, I have a website called Neurotrek, which is and make content about autism, my experience of it. I'm essentially trying to make my bigger dream is to have hubs like Neurotrek hubs across the UK for autistic and neurodivergent people to go traveling, like travel the world it's an alternative to the education we currently have, basically. So I pitched my dream. I pitched it to Rich at his van, and I have ideas of what I could do and stuff, but I'm not exactly sure where to really start. So anything you could suggest that I can focus on would be really, really helpful.
Where are you right now with this? You've got a name, but what are you actually doing now to make it happen?
Well, it's a little complicated, I think, because I'm not. Yeah, I'd like to start a GoFundMe for traveling, to travel for myself, but to make that also fund my dream for create hubs across the UK, if that makes sense. So that's one.
A little bit, no. It does. So you want to travel as well as open up these centres, right?
So yeah, it's kind of like my thinking was I would fundraise for traveling that would go into these centres. Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused. I think first of all, you've got £11,000 in the bank. So you know, a holiday to Spain, there and back, you know, it's £2,000. Let's say, right? Now, I don't think asking the public to fund that is the right way to go. If I was you, I would travel. I guess, look, the traveling thing confuses me because I think, you know, why would people fund you to travel? Now, if you were opening up a cafe or opening up a business, like you say, to support this idea you have, that's a business investment opportunity for people. That makes more sense. And maybe a community that cares about the same thing you care about, people that understand what you're talking about, they would perhaps support you. Communities are very powerful, especially niche communities. They can be really, really useful in like bringing everyone together. But you know, there's two separate things there. I wouldn't get them to. I wouldn't get the two confused. I asked you, what have you done to make this idea happen? And then you talk about starting up a GoFundMe to go traveling. I think it's completely different things. Now, I'm not saying you can't travel when you open up different centers. And by the way, I'm not saying don't just start a travel business. You could just start a travel business, and part of it is you get sponsors to go there. Okay, sure. And maybe you're going to travel and share your experiences with the I'm going to get it wrong, NeuroTrack. You know, I think the two are very different. It's very different things.
Sure.
So
okay.
The focus. Let's just come back to this. So you're calling me about NeuroTrack. What are you doing to make NeuroTrack work? Don't talk to me about GoFundMe or getting people to give you money. What are you doing to make it work?
So honestly, since I've made the website, not a lot, because I'm just not entirely sure what step to really go to.
Okay, let's. Honest. I don't know why we make this so complicated, and I mean this with love, right? I say this with love. I just sometimes find that people make the first step so complicated. Is this a physical premises you see?
Yes, I'm hoping it can have physical premises.
Okay, your vision is a bit blurry on this for me. Like, okay, it's a very clear yes or no. So let's say it's a yes. Okay?
Yes.
Why can't you? But why can't you go to an existing cafe owner, an independent owner, and say, look, I'd like to do NeuroTrack once a week in your cafe, and just partner with people initially? You know, like you want to bring people together. You want to talk about why do you have to go and build it all on your own?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I was getting to. I don't want to build it all on my own, because I realize.
So just go collaborate with people. Just go. Everyone wants to go. I kind of think like the first step I would make is try and find someone that's got the facility I need and convince them to let me use it. So again, I don't know. A lot of empty churches during the week, aren't being used. You know, there's a lot of high streets empty with shops not being used. Find the owners and see if they'll let you use it. You know, a lot of empty pubs during the day. You know, like a lot of space out there that's kind of, if you go in there and convince someone, they'll probably let you use it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask? You mentioned about cafes. Did you just use that as an example of this is a space that you can, as a community, for like connecting with other autistic people and making the community larger?
That's what you want to do, right?
So, well, I was trying to understand where you were mentioning the cafes for. I was wondering if that was what it was.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to make your idea happen, and that's one step is the physical space piece, right?
Yeah.
So who's got physical space that they might let you use it from time to time? Well, cafes, right? But it doesn't have to be. There's churches as well, empty most of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. There's loads of spaces around. I'm sure you walk down the high street, there's empty shops, right? So look, I guess it's just maybe thinking about what you can do with no money is a pretty interesting exercise. And so, yeah, you went and rang the doorbell, right? You went and rang the Dream Machine doorbell, pitching your idea. Great. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. Why not try? Great. Coming on here, sharing with your dream. Thousands of people are listening. Great. But I think if people are listening, they're going to find it a bit confusing how to help you. Right. So if there's a cafe, owner or a business owner right now who owns a premises that's empty, it's not clear what you want from them. So I think you should go away and think clearly about what you actually would like help with. I personally, it's just my personal opinion, I don't think asking people to fund GoFundMe for you to then go on traveling is necessarily the idea I would go with. Especially when you've got £11,000 in the bank. You could go on one trip now and get a brand to sponsor you doing it, or just have the experience of doing that trip. I don't think people would be, I can't imagine people will want to sponsor your travel unless there's a direct connection to like helping people. But I don't think you need to do that. I think you've actually got some savings.
idea
Are
is...
you there?
Hello?
I lost you for a second.
My mic's
I can
on.
hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead. We've got to wrap it up.
Sorry.
So just want to... Josh, no problem.
Yeah. I've lost what I was going to say now.
Josh,
Josh,
why don't you come back in 4 or 5 weeks' time, back on the show? Go away and really think about, like, you got to remember who's listening, what you actually want people to do to help you with your dream. Because I think you're in your head, I think it's clear, but I think people, I don't understand it fully, and I don't know how to help you exactly. So I think go away and think clearly what it is you need. If people are listening, what can they do to help you? But make it more clear what the next step is. If you don't know the next step, how can people listening help you with the next step? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your idea. It's your dream. You know what you need.
Yeah.
There's pieces in a jigsaw, right? A dream is just a jigsaw, and it's pieces in that jigsaw. Do you need a physical space? Okay. Do you need, what do you need exactly? And I actually think, you know, you got a little bit of savings. You've got options.
Yeah.
You could start a little travel blog with this and make money from a travel blog and raise awareness of what you're talking about through that. You've got a little bit of a startup capital there. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, well done doing that. I think you've saved that by the sounds of it, you know, like that's a good little chance for you to make some revenue from that 11,000. You should be able to make 50,000 in a business.
Yeah.
So maybe think about it as a business a little bit more and what you can do, because a business can make profit and then can do good with that profit. Right.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. So call back in 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks time once you've flushed it out a bit more. Okay. We'll talk again.
Okay.
All right, Josh.
Fine.
All right. See you. Thanks for calling in. I'll see you, buddy. Okay, guys, that is the show today. I want to thank our sponsor. HighLevel came in just recently and said, we're sponsoring this podcast, Simon. We want to back what you're doing. And I love their product. You know, I always tell people that if you want a business to work, all you need to do is learn sales. And tools like HighLevel help you manage your CRM, help you figure out how to build funnels, how to do automated marketing, how to manage your leads type things. And it allows you to get your business off the ground. All you need is one customer to make your business work. One customer. My first business was a gardening company. All I did was knock on a door and say, I'll tidy your garden. They said yes. And then I said, I haven't got any equipment. Could I use your equipment? They said yes. And then I said, I need a 50% deposit, because then I can pay people to help me. They said yes and gave me 50% deposit. All you need to do to make your dream a reality is sell. So when HighLevel said they were going to sponsor this podcast, I'm like, perfect. This is a tool I know people need. And then it's one less excuse to not make your dream happen. If you understand how to make a sale, you understand how workflow automation works, which sounds like a big complicated thing. It's not. Tools like HighLevel will help you figure it out. Call tracking, so that if you say, I'll call you back in 4 weeks, you actually do. Like the caller I just had on, Josh, if he had this tool, he'd remember to call me back in 4 weeks. Otherwise, he might forget, right? So thank you, HighLevel, for believing in what we're doing. Thank you for supporting this podcast. And if you want to try out their product, the link is down below. You can get a 30-day free trial. And by using their service, they're funding this podcast, which allows us to help you for free and gives us funding to fund people's dreams and help people do what they love with platforms like helpbank.com. So go register as well on helpbank.com. Make sure if you want help, you go there and ask for help. And if you can help, go there and help people. All the people that come on this podcast show are now on helpbank.com. You can go and help them. If you had a view or had an opinion on anything that was said today, feel free to comment down below. I will read all the comments along with my team. Thank you for listening in to today's Simon Says. We'll see you next week.